I think it's really interesting to see how many technology companies are at DMEXCO from both the buy and sell sides that are really focusing on addressable TV this year. There's been lots of discussion around how data and technology, specifically programmatic technology, can bring new advertisers to television advertising for the very first time. So if I was a streaming publisher today and I'm trying to improve my levels of programmatic demand, there's several things that I would really be doing. The most important, I think, is trying to establish how I build my ad breaks. I want to be able to give advertisers the same controls that they've been used to in traditional TV buying. And what I mean by that is things like position within the ad pod, managing frequency, understanding contextual relevancies. So ad break construction is really, really important. And that's why more and more streaming publishers now are working with ad servers like Publica, because we help them to build the ad breaks that have the same targeting parameters and controls that traditional TV ad breaks have had. Another thing that I would do, really, really important thing, is look at the SSPs that you're working with. It may be that you're only working with one or two. So via the introduction of a unified auction, which is also referred to as header bidding in the display and mobile ecosystem, overnight you can introduce a lot more demand and competition for your streaming inventory. So the two kind of real pieces of advice I would offer to a streaming publisher is look at the way your ad break is created, give advertisers as many targeting parameters and controls as possible, and then also look at the way you run your auction. Who are you enabling to target your inventory? If it's only a handful of SSPs, then I would absolutely recommend the introduction of a unified auction, which enables a lot more demand players to see your inventory at the same time, and it creates a lot more competition. So in a controlled way, you can let more demand in that will be incremental to what you would have been seeing via just running 2 or 3 different SSPs back to back alongside a direct sales strategy. Supply path optimization is something we're starting to hear more about in the CTV ecosystem. And I think it's very important if you're a publisher to adopt all the latest protocols from the IAB Tech Lab, things like ads.txt, to ensure that those on the buy side know exactly who is authorized to sell your inventory. Another thing that you can do if you're a publisher to ensure that you don't lose demand to DSPs trying to formulate some type of SPO strategy is making sure that you pass all of the variables you can in a privacy compliant way. So every type of targeting parameter that can be passed, are you passing that to DSPs? Another thing that you can be doing is adopting the latest OpenRTB protocol. So we're currently at OpenRTB 2.6. So it's making sure that you pass data, it's making sure that you're privacy compliant, it's making sure that you've adopted the latest OpenRTB protocols, because that will really enable you to have a position of strength when it comes to supply path optimization. DSPs, brands and agencies are always trying to find the most efficient path to inventory. We've seen that play out in mobile, we've seen that play out in desktop, and now that's evolving in the CTV ecosystem. So it's not always about price, it can be about performance, it can be about match rates, it can be about data, it can be about targeting publishers who are more privacy compliant in certain territories globally. So again, if you're a publisher today, streaming publisher, and you're starting to worry about the practice of supply path optimization, look at the data that you pass, look at the programmatic protocols that you're supporting from the IAB Tech Lab, and make sure that you're doing everything to ensure that your inventory is positioned well to capture programmatic demand.